What's up, guys? This is Marseille, aka the Property Pastor, here with Kingdom Legacy Builders, where our mission is to help everyday people like you and me to build lasting legacies for our children and our children's children using wealth building principles like real estate investing. Today, I want to talk a little bit about private money. And I love using private money because private money has helped me to scale my business. It has helped me to avoid having to go through the headaches of going to the bank and asking for money all the time. And it's allowed me to create win-wins for some of the folks who want to invest in my business, who want to, generate lucrative returns. So it's helped me a lot, and it's also allowed me to help other people. But before we get started in today's video, I want to ask you to make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop questions, drop comments that you have that you want to learn about that's going to help you in your journey, things that maybe you've struggled with or things that have helped you, because we're here to all add value to one another. Again, though, we're talking all about private money. So far this year, I've been able to add an additional 4 properties to my portfolio. Currently, I'm at rental property number 12 in just under 4 years of investing. So I've been blessed. God has been truly good to me, and I believe in the scale even more. But one of the things that have helped me tremendously is the area of private money lending. So what happens typically is at some point, everybody runs out of money. And usually you got to start going to hard money lenders, or you got to keep going to the bank. And basically, if you're dealing with cash flow, you're essentially, raising $200 a month or making $200 a month through each property that you have. That's $2,400 a year. It'll take you a long time to generate enough income to buy another property. So typically you've got to figure out how to scale. So private money is one of the tools that I use in my business. I use all different sorts of tools like hard money lending, but today I want to talk about private money lending because that is my favorite subject in terms of generating funds to invest in real estate. So first of all, I want to actually define what private money is. So when it comes to having funds for investing, there's kind of a few major groups, right? There's going to the bank. If you go to the bank, you're gonna traditionally request a loan, and you'll have to put some form of collateral, down payment, things of that nature. But then you also have hard money lenders. So hard money lenders, a lot of folks who do BRRRR deals, which is buy, rehab, rent, finance, and repeat. And then also folks who flip properties, they use hard money lenders a lot because they need fast access to cash. Private lenders are individuals who lend funds either through their own, their own reserves, their own bank accounts, things like that, their own assets, or things like self-directed IRAs, retirement funds, and things of that nature. So a private money lender is an individual and not an institution. So a bank is what we call an institutional lender, but a private money lender is just a person, right? Anyone can be a private money lender. So I'm going to dig deeper into that as we go through the video about some of the places that you can go to actually find sources of private money. So a private money lender is basically an individual, whereas a bank is an institution. So a private money loan may or may not be secured against a piece of real estate. Now, an unsecured promissory note is basically one where it's just a promise to pay, an agreement between two parties, which says that, hey, I'm loaning you this amount of money and you promise to pay it back. Typically, that'll get notarized. And if a person doesn't pay that money, then one party will sue the other. But then if there is a secured promissory note, what happens is that loan has collateral. And the collateral is a piece of real estate. What basically happens is in the event that a person doesn't pay, then they can foreclose on that property. So a private money loan can be set up either as a secure or an unsecured, form of borrowing or lending money. So we'll talk about it as we go through the series. But I wanted to do this series for you guys to really dig into private money. It is a valuable tool to have in your toolbox. It's a great way to be able to build and scale your business versus having to go to the bank every single time. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the benefits of private money. So one of the big benefits is that private money lending is very flexible. Because you're dealing with individuals, these are just folks who have sums of money that they can lend. There's a lot of flexibility. There's flexibility in terms of the terms you want to set up. How many years you want the loan to be for, how you want to amortize the loan. Do you want it to be all due at the end? Do you want it to be paid down the principal and interest every single month? I think there's just a lot of flexibility in terms of, collateral versus secure versus unsecured and things of that nature. So there's a ton of flexibility when you're setting these things up. Additionally, though, one of the things I love about it is that you don't have to deal with the bank. Now, one of the big drawbacks to the bank is paperwork, 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 and it's a very slow process. So there's underwriting, there's due diligence, there's fees, there's points to pay, there's all of these things that are put in place that the bank has to basically hedge their bets against risk, right? So they're going to go and they're going to check everything. They're going to take DNA samples, blood samples, all this crazy stuff, right? It feels like that anyway. But dealing with the bank can be a big time delay. So one of the things in real estate investing is that speed is very important. So if you take a long time to go to the bank and apply and have your credit run and all that kind of stuff, it takes time, and the deal could be gone during that time frame. But additionally, the bank's only going to loan you so much money. Now, in the bank's scenario, they're going to be checking credit. Typically, a private money lender doesn't really care about your credit. They may pull it, right? But they typically care more about the deal. They care about your ability to perform. They care about your character, and they care about your competence. Basically, there's two things I think that folks really seem to care about. So one of the benefits of private money is that they don't have to go to the bank. There's a ton of flexibility. You can structure it pretty much however you want. And you don't have to have all of these time delays and things that slow you down. So one of the biggest questions I get about private money is, where do I find it? How do I find private money lenders? It sounds so good to be true, but where are these people? The thing about private money lenders is that they're out there, but they're not just knocking on people's doors saying, "Hey, I want to give you money." If a person comes and tells you that, you may want to go the other way. Typically, with a private money lender, these are going to be folks who are high income earners, right? There may be doctors, there may be lawyers, there may be folks who who own businesses, people who are retired, and things like that, who are sitting on large sums of cash. They may be people who have just sold a house, right? So I just set up a private money lender with a person, an individual who I purchased a property from. So this was an investor. They were starting to get older. They sold me a property. I actually purchased the house on something called a seller finance balloon. Now what we did was I went in and I purchased the property, and the original seller held on to the note for a period of time. Now, at the end of that period of time, I had to refinance and basically pay off that seller. So what I did was, in that instance, because they had held the note for a period of time, I was paying that mortgage every single month on time. So at the end of it, they got a check for, in this instance, I think it was like $150,000. So they get a $150,000 check. So I approached them and I said, "Hey, look, we've been doing business for a while. Now that you've gotten this large sum of money, what would you think?" Basically, I asked them, "What are you going to do with the amount?" At this point, we have a relationship. So they were like, "Yeah, I'm just going to put it in the bank. I might do a little bit of fixing up to my house, but I'm really just going to put it in the bank." So then I asked them, "Say, well, what do you expect to get in return from the bank?" And they were like, "Well, probably about 0.25%, 0.5%. Like, that's not very much money," but they felt safe there. But on the other side, I asked them, I said, "So would you be open to essentially loaning a portion of that money, whatever you feel comfortable with, loaning a portion of that money back to me, so that I can continue to invest in real estate? And now you get to be the bank." You see, because what the bank did was they basically are giving them 0.25% on their money, but if they went and asked the bank, could they now borrow that money back? Well, the markup would be 4%, 5%. It could even be more. So now I basically presented them with an opportunity to be the bank. So folks who maybe have just sold a house or have just come into a large inheritance or things like that nature, they may be good candidates. And what you tend to find is that people don't trust the stock market the older they get. People don't trust the bank because the bank's not going to give them a whole lot back. So that's just a great opportunity that you can take advantage of. Another great source is people who have a rollover IRA. So what that means is that maybe they work for one company for 10 years. So they were putting money into their company's 401k. And then they left that company and they started with another company. Well, everybody doesn't roll it over into their new plan. So if they may just have it sitting over in a Roth IRA or something that they did not roll over into their new company's plan, it's just sitting over there. So you can work with them and actually convert that money into a self-directed IRA, which allows them to invest in anything they want. And when in doing that, they can invest money with you in terms of real estate. I've done that with a lot of different people and created win-wins for both sides. Now they're not worrying about whether or not Elon Musk, what he's going to say and how their stocks are going to tank. They can actually go and see a property that their money's invested in. They can see a project and look at how it's doing, right? So that's a great source. So really what you look at, you've also got friends and family. So if you got friends and family, you're sharing with them what you're doing. They're a great source of funds for you as well. People who believe in you, people who know you, right? But you want to be careful, right? You just want to be careful in terms of that area, because sometimes those can ruin relationships. And I treat my private money lenders, they get paid even if I don't, right? So I want to maintain those relationships. I want those relationships to be important, to be valued. I want them to get paid first. So my investors get paid first. You must treat your investors with the utmost care if you want to keep them, because the thing about it is, once you finish the project, that is now a source that you can go back to. So I have sources where I can be a cash buyer because I've now got private money lenders set up. I can bring projects to them and say, oh sure, let's invest there. I know what you did on the last project, I know you'll do it again on this one. The next question I get is, well, how do I ask people for money? And this is so difficult, because if you're anything like me, I hate asking people for money. I don't like going up to people and saying, look, can you give me this? Can you give me that? I much rather do it myself. I'm not a salesman, right? That's just not really my thing. I can sell Jesus and I can sell Marseille, right? I could talk to you all day long about Jesus, and I can talk to you about what I can do, right? But the thing is, I don't like going to ask people for things. But here's what I had to learn. Here's how I was able to start taking advantage of private money lending, was that I was no longer asking people for anything. I was presenting an opportunity. And here, right, you're presenting an opportunity for a win-win. You're presenting an opportunity for people to take advantage of being a bank, right? The bank has been doing it for a long time and doing it very well. And instead of them only getting to 0.25, why don't they get to 5? Why don't they get to 6%? Why don't they maybe even get to 8 or 9? Depending on the deal, right? There's the flexibility. So if that person, right, they want, I want to get an 8% return. You can structure that way with interest-only payments, right, where you're only paying a couple $100s a month, and at the end, when you go and refinance the property, you got a whole lot of extra money in your hands, pay them back. And it works out for everybody, right? And then you also got folks that you maybe only working with to give 4 or 5%, because that's all that really matters to them. They want that stability, right? But you can do that when you kind of switch gears from saying, "Hey, can you loan me money?" to, "Here's an opportunity to be a bank. Here's an opportunity to create a win-win. Here's an opportunity to basically make money while you sleep." Then people want to take advantage of that, and that's what I've been able to do, right? But that mindset has really got to shift. Now you do want to be careful. You don't want to go and just start posting videos and sending solicitations and mailers out to people and saying, "Hey, invest with me, I'll make you rich," because the SEC doesn't like that. So the thing that you must recognize, right, is that and what I tell people is, I provide lucrative opportunities for people to build wealth, right? And in doing that, I've been able to acquire new sources of places, new sources of private money to continue to invest in my business. One other thing that I did forget to drop in there was networking. You want to network with other investors, go to meetup events, even on Bigger Pockets, right? I've networked on Bigger Pockets and actually found private money lenders, because these folks understand the value of real estate, and they are looking for places to park their money that are going to generate great returns, right? But you don't have to ask for money when you have the character, and you have the competency and the track record. So throughout the course of this series, I'm going to be showing you, how do you build that, right? How do you build that story to show people, hey, I can do deals, to show that story, hey, I'm going to deliver every single month. And once you start doing that, the money will come, right? The private money will be there, and you no longer have to worry about the bank going and begging them for money anymore. So I'm praying that for you. That's been my story. That's been my testimony over the past 2 years. I've been able to raise a lot of private money to be able to build more deals and continue to build that momentum. So if you got questions, make sure you drop them in the comment section rather. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We are bringing great content to you to help you in your business. I care about you building a lasting legacy for your children and your children's children, achieving financial freedom, doing the things God created you to do. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. Can't wait to see you again soon.